Guilty Gear Strive is getting an update at the same time every single other thing is getting announcements and playable builds and all that shit. So this is about to be a brutal weekend. I think this weekend also Rumble Versus is going to have a beta, and I haven't even had a chance to play that shit yet. And there's already been a couple betas before, so this is insane, man. This always happens at this time of year, especially. Everything drops around the exact same time frame, and it's difficult as hell for me to like get proper time. It happened earlier this year with friggin' Baiken, because KOF came out and I started to fall in love with KOF. And then Baiken dropped right around the same time. System changes to Guilty Gear Strive, apparently. And this is balance and tensions of universal mechanics. So this is what is going to be general for every single character in the game. Let's zoom in on this shit. Roman cancels. Canceling into normal or special moves from a Roman cancel now triggers a slowdown effect and limits tension gauge cost. Wow, am I reading that right? Did Roman cancels get nerfed? Canceling into a normal or special moves from a Roman cancel now triggers a slowdown effect, so you get a slowdown no matter what, and limits the tension gauge cost. So limiting the cost, that makes it sound like, did they either get buffed or nerfed? The notes are dropped on the site as well? Okay, it seems like limiting tension gauge is, like like if it happens, you don't get any more? Keep reading, it's weird, but it's a buff. Okay. Counter hit, some moves such as standing punch and kick now trigger a slowdown effect on counter hit. Oh, we saw this, yeah, this is actually new. So there's the post. Hold on a second. Let's try to get an understanding of what's going on, because I'm curious, right? This is the thing that we've been anticipating for a long time. I was telling people that this is the vanilla version of Guilty Gear, right? The game's going to change a lot. They're going to add stuff to characters. They're going to add stuff to mechanics. I'm assuming they're not going to take away stuff, so let's hope not. So counter hit stuff, punch and kick, that makes it easier to chain/link into heavier attacks because you can't as much. So that's good. Now they trigger a proper effect on slowdown, making combos not normally possible available. I mean, I hate to say it, right? I hate to say it again, because I got nearly removed from the fighting game community for talking about the similarities to Street Fighter V pre-release for Guilty Gear Strive. But once again, this is another thing that is very similar to Street Fighter, where if your jabs hit on counter hit, they actually lead to completely new and unique combos, you know, where they wouldn't normally be available. If you hit a crouching like light punch or something like that and it didn't counter hit, it doesn't lead to a medium. But if it is on counter hit, hey, it leads to a medium. At least in Guilty Gear Strive, they're now putting a slowdown effect with the counter that makes it a bit more identifiable, where you can go into slash heavy slash. So you can now do punch slash heavy slash. Kind of neat. We looked into finding a way to improve the issue where sometimes a normal attack would come out when inputting faultless defense under certain conditions. Oh, so they changed the input buffer. Weird. Due to the high chance of losing control responsiveness when changing the current input method, we address the issue by adding a faultless defense button. Oh, there's an FD button now. Reversed input mechanism. For moves with the same input for the grounded and aerial versions, Baiken's tatami mat. What? As a measure to make the usage of the grounded and aerial versions distinct, some characters, when they input, when a special move was input as the jump started, the aerial version would come out at a low height or midair in an upwards direction. Yeah. So this is the tatami mat input. The result in strict input requirements. So we made the ground versions accurate even when the upward input is included. So they don't allow you to do tiger knee tatami mat anymore? Yeah, revised input, not reversed. Yeah. Is that what it's seeming like? Like you can't go like down to up forward anymore to get IAD? I'm sorry, just to get tiger knee tatami mat? Yeah, this is just an example. It's all the moves. I'm a little confused by that one. That's one that I'm gonna have to see in motion to feel what the heck they mean by that. I don't know about that. Yeah, that's weird. That seems like a very weird input. Why they would do that? Yeah, does that apply to Yozansen? Does that apply to like one of her most important moves, which is Yozansen, her instant overhead? Yeah, it's a tiger knee nerf, but more consistent ground specials. But does that, because Yozansen does not have a grounded input, you know? So I'm a little curious if that doesn't apply. That should be okay, because this is for moves that have the same input as the grounded and aerial versions. Like I don't know, man. Note about move inputs. QCB and Shoryu special inputs. This refers to the general input mechanism of the game, not to a change bait in this patch where an input simultaneously includes quarter circle forward, DP. Also DP is prioritized. Oh, that's neat. This is just them cleaning up the input buffer. But when half circle forward is inputted, quarter circle forward is prioritized. So this just makes a lot of sense. You know why? The majority of people, when they play these games, especially on arcade sticks, when you do a quarter circle input, you actually are usually doing this, you know? Most of the time, you're actually doing a full circle input. It's the reason why a lot of people, when they play Super Turbo and stuff, they accidentally throw red fireballs. Because, yes, the majority of people, when they're on an arcade stick, will be using the full motion, right? They accidentally do it. They don't usually do just the regular motion. They'll just do the full damn motion. So this is a very smart change, because usually if you want to do DP and you get fireball instead, you probably wanted the DP. There's a pretty good chance that you wanted that. So if this thing is looking for anything that has like a down back or a back motion, prioritizing the fireball is great. I'm kind of surprised the game didn't have this already. But considering the fact that dragon punches, when the game first came out, were ridiculously hard to do, I'm not surprised. They're just cleaning shit up, you know? This was previously implemented as a hidden mechanic, but we decided to reveal it in accordance with the above change to how move inputs are actually handled. Okay. Special move canceling into overdrives before coming out. Although it has several purposes, its main intended is to make it easier to perform overdrives where part of the input is the same as the special move. So once again, changing the buffer system with supers and stuff like that. Interesting. Very interesting what it's going to choose to prioritize now. This does also make a lot of sense, because quarter circle back, half circle forwards will definitely lead to not what you want. You missed like one input and the game goes, nah, no deal. You ended on down forward. My biggest issue with this stuff is that sometimes you'd end on like quarter circle back, or, you know, half circle back forward, and you would end on down forward, and it just doesn't give it to you. You're like, come on, dude. I was close enough, right? Certain conditions, inputs for crouching normals and crouching command normals will now be prioritized over standing. For example, previously, when inputting down slash during the hit stop of a close standing S, if you release down quickly, far standing slash would come out. However, this will change, crouching S will come out. Dude, they're really going in ham on a lot of, like, the way the input buffer works in the game. This is going to make stuff genuinely feel a lot different for some characters, and hopefully it makes things easier to do. Yeah, this is the epitome of spring cleaning, you know? Many characters had less utility for the jumping punch compared to their other aerials. We've adjusted the blowback effect on it, making it easier to convert into a combo. Neat! Previously only available to some characters, all characters with dashes can now dash their standing kick and close slash. All characters. Game just got a lot more offensive in general. That also might lead to combo stuff too, right? I don't think that's just like on hit stop or even block stun. That could absolutely lead to tip of standing K, dash cancel, and then you get a completely different combo. Yeah, this is almost comparable to like making characters slash attacks be jump cancelable, which is the case in a lot of previous Guilty Gears. In addition to increasing the variety of offensive options, this also creates new combos. I'll shut the fuck up. If you quickly dash cancel into a special move. Overall damage adjustments. Some highly used moves with great versatility have had their damage decreased. Overdrives that work well as counterattacks have had their attack startup recovery revised with their damage remaining unchanged to make it easier to punish them when blocked. That sort of makes me think that maybe the damage is going to be toned down overall. Please go into the details of RC, because it's the previous one sounded kind of confusing. Now triggers a slowdown effect when canceling into a normal or special move. Okay. The slowdown effect is only triggered when in close proximity. Okay, like usual. Now causes the tension gauge to gradually deplete. That sounds fucking crazy. Are you telling me you're sort of treating this like a YRC now? Okay, so tension gauge meter in Guilty Gear uses 2 bars, right? Before, that one of the issues that people had with the game is that the really cool shit that happens in Strive costs meter. So you essentially have to wait till you get meter to have fun, right? To have a lot of fun with characters. And when you get to the fun, it's super fucking fun, don't get me wrong. The problem was that you only had two bars to work with. So when you RC'd, it took a half your chunk if you had a full bar. This apparently is saying that the gauge gradually depletes if you do the regular Roman cancel. Not the yellow, because yellow is like a defensive one, right? This is the one that you do on block. So what you're saying is we can do more shit. At least to me, this is what it seems like. Is this only when fast RCing? Does it say only during the quick one? Oh yeah, okay. They don't call it fast RC, but it now triggers a, oh wow, Triggers a slowdown effect when canceling into a normal or special. So this is essentially, this situation right here is describing a fast RC. I see what you mean, chat. So you get even more of a reward for doing fast RCs now. And fast RCs will now also do the slowdown effect. Isn't that kind of a nerf as well? Because fast RCs being fast would usually catch people off guard in some situations. Does that sound like a somewhat of a nerf, but also a huge buff? Keep reading. Slowdown effect when canceling into a normal or special. The slowdown effect is only triggered when in close proximity, right? Okay. I think this is one that I think I get what they're saying. It seems like fast RCs are just even better than before. They take less. You can do more offensive pressure, more combo opportunities. Why it gradually depletes, I don't know. Theoretically thinking, if you're going to do something that gradually depletes that actually offers you more pressure, you're going to get a meter reward for doing more pressure or landing more combos, right? So essentially, it seems like the tension gauge gradually depleting would offset the fact that you're going to be running in and smacking shit and doing stuff after. That's like the point. I'm really curious how much it actually takes away. Does it just eventually take away a full bar? I really need to see this one in action. This is not worded great. This shit is like almost left to interpretation, it feels like. I'm definitely gonna have to see what the heck they mean by this when it eventually comes out. Blue RC made the timing for canceling into a normal or special move faster. Okay. PRC made the timing for canceling into a normal or special move faster. The slowdown effect from purple Roman cancels now ends when the attack lands. Red RC in general no longer applies to any type of scaling when the shockwave from red Roman cancel hits the opponent. Red RC no longer scales damage? I'm fairly sure the damage is high enough in the game, Daisuke. Daisuke, I'm fairly sure the damage in Guilty Gear Strive is high enough, bro. This might be an offset to the fact that maybe a lot of stuff in the game is doing less damage overall. And now, if you want to get that damage back in some way, this is the offset to it. That's a dangerous decision. It kind of is. It seems some of this shit, I'm not even halfway down this page. Some of this shit seems wild. So Psych Burst, fix the bug where the activation of Psych Burst hitbox would be delayed under certain circumstances. When activated above a certain height in the air, the speed the character rises is now reduced. Blue Burst Psych, when the player inputs Blue Burst Psych before the opponent's overdrive activates, the Psych Burst activation can no longer be canceled. It looks like supers just beat him out. That makes sense. I never actually have gone through that situation specifically before. I think it's a buff, so it's more easily ungrounded opponents. I see what you mean. Yeah, some of these stuff I feel like I really need to see worded amazing. We're sort of translating even the English patch notes, you know? Input priority during hit stop, moves that require a down input such as crouching normals and moves that require a forward input such as crouching normals, command normals, are now prioritized over standing normals and jumping normals. Okay, so more spring cleaning stuff. Depending on the current movement speed of the attacking character, the launch and blowback of the opponent on hit now changes. The change applies to jumping normals not previously impacted by the above mechanic. I guess the amount of weird, like, gravity that would kick in for a lot of jumping attacks was sort of universal. It sort of had the same amount of, like, blowback, and now aerial normals have different types of, like, gravity / momentum or blowback. People, we really got to be relearning out characters. Well, that's not a bad thing, right? That's really not a bad thing. It does feel like the game is genuinely changing. This is even so far, this is way more than I thought that they would do. Special moves can now be canceled into overdrive before the move comes out. They just fucking gave us special to super cancels. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you can Kara special to super cancels? Special moves can now be canceled into an overdrive before the move comes out. Right. It's sounding like the beginning frames of some specials, like, you can take Leo's run through and cancel that into super if you wanted. Yeah, before the move comes out. Ino can go for her dip and shit and land you with goddamn command grab before it's activated? Okay, so what is mechanically in the game? Okay, what can we give people more stuff to do with it? This almost feels like their Arc System Works was feeling like they were directly attacked for people saying that, oh yeah, we all do the same thing until you get meter, right? Every character essentially is doing the same thing until you get meter. At least in theory, you know? At least in theory, it feels like they're answering a lot of the limitations that some characters had. They're answering a lot of, like, the limitations that you have system-wise without meter and stuff like that. They said their intent was to expand the ways to play. Jesus Christ. Look where I'm at. Okay, so here's the thing. When I'm eventually done with all the normal stuff, I am going to check out my characters, right? I'm essentially checking out like a few characters and maybe some requests of some crazy ones, because we can't literally go down everybody. Like we're gonna be here all goddamn night. But I am curious, right? I am curious to see who is getting the most beef. Some overdrives are now affected by prior movements, such as dash momentum. Okay, so that's fucking nuts, because this also applies to what happened up here, where some specials absolutely give characters some crazy movement shit, you know? Dash momentum can affect supers, and potentially momentum from specials can also affect supers. Faultless defense added an FD button, decreases the amount of tension gauge. Again, right? Didn't they already do this shit? Because the amount of tension gauge removed was a ton at the start, right? And then they changed that. They made FD cost way less, and now it's costing even less? We're gonna need ways to get people the fuck off of each other if there's all this insane shit that they can do now. There's dash cancelable, RC cost less. Like, FD needs to potentially be better, you know? If all this insane shit's gonna be happening, there's got to be a decent push block, and hopefully, I think they're trying to make FD be that thing, you know? RC costs less, yes. Well, at least it seems that way. RC gradually depletes, Cobra. It doesn't just take away a chunk. RC like goes down gradually, so you can offset it with offense and shit. It seems, right? It seems. At least fast RC. Sorry, the quick one. Moving on. Sorry. Wall stick. When wall stick initiates simultaneously with the super flash of certain overdrives, the wall stick effect will now be prioritized. If wall stick initiates simultaneously with the super flash of certain overdrives, I guess there was just like a weird situation where sometimes if you got a wall splat and an overdrive happened, they wouldn't happen. They wouldn't work out. That seems like a bug fix, yeah. Throws fixed a bug where the risk level would deplete more than intended when activating Roman cancel during a throw under certain conditions. Aerial direction switch. Characters can now switch directions to face the opponent when canceling some jumping normals into another move late into the animation. All right, because that's definitely like some Dragon Ball shit, right? Where you try to get cross up M, and you dash over them, and you hit M, and they would automatically flip to the other side. In Guilty Gear, you would have to like cross up at really weird times to get your attack to do the other side shit. Characters now switch directions to face the opponent when canceling some jumping normals into another move late into the animation. It seems like, yeah, for characters that have big cross-up things, it'll probably be a lot better. Jump, landing. Fix a bug where sometimes only crouching moves can be performed under certain conditions. Weird. Standing punch. Yeah, every punch and kick now gets counter-hit slowdown effect. Standing kick can now be dash canceled. Does not apply to Potemkin and Nago. Now launches the opponent less than previously when used multiple times in the same combo. Now launches the opponent less. So if you use it over and over again, like some characters do, yeah, their standing kick is like super good. It blows them back more. The gravity kicks in hard. Yeah, that sounds like a Soul Bad Guy nerf, because his standing K is like godlike, right? So then you could juggle people from the top of standing K and then dash forward and get crazy shit. No, it sounds like you get less airtime. 5K saw some hits, but still has that 3-frame startup. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It was a good button. It just was like a great button before. Close standing hits can now be dash canceled. Yep. Some hurt boxes adjusted the size of some hurt boxes while taking damage. Mid-damage hurt boxes that were more difficult than others hurt almost have been expanded. Okay. All right. That was crazy. They are genuinely changing a lot of core stuff to act just different. Things just act way differently than before. To get into the nitty-gritty, priority number 1, I think I'm going here. I think I'm going here first, and then I'm going to check out Leo. Because we already know Leo's fine, right? In fact, I'm slightly nervous about checking Leo. Because I don't think it's going to lead to anything, unless the devs just love Leo, right? And they've already said that before, that the devs actually love Leo. So they might just give him more shit. The changes make it easier for Baiken to maintain her offense, because she's now like a proper-ass, huge, mega rushdown character, right? The decreased recovery of Kabari or slash Kabari means that she can have the advantage while attacking when the opponent is tethered. Oh, thank God. Did they buff Tether? Please. Tether felt like it was a nerf sometimes, I swear to God. Her combos are now more likely to connect from a certain distance due to the expanded hitbox of Tatami and the momentum remaining after a canceled forward kick. Okay. Standing P is faster. Crouching K doesn't push them as far away. Forward K momentum remains when canceled, so you can take the momentum of forward K into a special. and it'll carry that momentum into the special. Close stand S, reduced recovery. Cool. Far stand S, reduced attack startup, reduced frontal hurt box. Okay. Crouching S, reduced recovery, reduced frontal hurt box. Okay. Crouching HS, there's the big one. No longer hits opponent when more than a set distance apart. Reduced upper hitbox, hurt box. Jumping K, launch changes, which are sort of universal, right? Tatami mat now activates even after an upwards input. Expanded frontal hitbox of the strike. Aerial tatami mat, expanded back hurt box of the projectile during descent. Wow, they just made it. They made her Oki way better. If tatami mat, aerial, and grounded, I mean, especially the aerial one, if aerial tatami mat is like mega thick now, if it's just bigger, that'll definitely allow for a lot of like post grab and everything setups, you know? Yeah, it seems like aerial tatami cross up and all that shit that she can normally do got buffed. Kabari now activates even after an upwards input. Increased attack startup, reduced recovery, increased knockback, and on hit, the tether no longer pulls the opponent in during the animation. I gotta see that shit. What the hell? And Kabari HS activates after an upwards input, so they cleaned up that. Now less affecting by combo blowback scaling. Oh, you get more juggle opportunity and stuff after? Interesting. That sounds pretty good. And then the follow-up, the chop, right? Now triggers a counter hit effect. Blowback direction now matches the direction Baiken is facing. Do we mean on the cross-up one if you hold it down? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this means that RC after Kabari is going to hurt like hell. Expanded a lower hitbox, no longer in counter hit state after the active frame ends, no longer in opponents. More than a set distance apart? I gotta see that. An increased recovery on block. I kind of like the setup. Increased recovery on block. I kind of like the situation you get when you block a Kabari. Now it's safe. No, increased recovery means that if it's blocked, that she's going to be less safe. It's more punishable. Yeah, if you don't want to essentially end things in, that's the follow-up on block, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. Because that situation, like, you essentially could, like, bait people into doing shit or go directly into counter, right? All that kind of shit. Maybe you only want to, maybe now it'll always just connect. Go forth to the Golden Grace. I guess we'll try. How bad was Baiken before, really? She still seemed fine to me. She's like a relatively offensive close-range character that mixes you like crazy, right? She becomes like an Oki Lord, and she has good overhead. But was it the fact that, like, she would have to risk too much shit? Whenever she would take her risks, it would cost meter? She felt fine to me, you know? At least when I was briefly playing her. Just a worse version of Nago? Weird. A lot of the changes in general seem that they're punishing whiffing harder. Yeah, she did win a big tournament recently. But she's a commit character, you know? She's a very much like, I'm going for it, and that's what it's gonna be. I'm either gonna commit to this, like, this close range S that's gonna lead to overhead or low or something. But she requires meter to make all that shit work. Yas and 2D are huge commits that get you fucked up if they defend properly. Okay, yeah. You essentially need meter to cover your ass in either situation. I mean, that was the impression I got in, like, day fucking 1. She was a worse Leo? Yeah. Yeah, Leo does run through and gets, he's like plus. You know? That's the most shocking thing to me is that, like, you block a Leo's run through and you're like, I have a huge brain. My fucking brain is huge. I just called that this bitch is running through, and he's practically plus and shit. If he even lands the run through, it's like, ah, shit, man, oh, fuck. And then you mess it up and you get hit by counter and he actually gets full run through combo. It's like, ah, shit, oh, fuck. I'm gonna go play Leo. Yozansen, reduce landing recovery, increase damage. Fuck, well, that's good. Big overhead. Hiragi, actually don't know what this move is. Never heard it called this. Reduce recovery after successful parry, as well as when unsuccessful. Oh, so that's actually the name of her parry. They just made the parry better on hit and whiff. Reduce recovery after successful parry, so they're gonna give you Oki after the parry. And even if you whiff it, it's also less unsafe. Oh, good. Because, yeah, she lands a parry, you ain't getting much after. You got the damage, you know? And they didn't say anything about reducing, like, the 30-ish% that she does. Cool. Cool. When blocked midair, the opponent now lands more quickly than before. Increased attack, startup, decreased knockback. What the hell is this? The sword super. Oh, when blocked midair. Sorry, I was thinking, I saw midair and I'm like, what else can be done midair super-wise? When blocked midair, the opponent now lands more quickly than before. Increased attack, startup. Oh, they made it slower. Technically nerfed it. Sword super got nerfed? Interesting choice. Yeah, we can dash cancel into supers now. They nerfed all reversal supers? Every single reversal super is now slower. Did Ram get fucked in this? Please tell me. Jesus Christ. Please tell me Ramlethal players are going to return the game to GameStop. Did it actually happen? Are all Ram players just going to return the game to GameStop? Oh my god. Ram's actually buffed? Ah, shit. Yeah, they made it so that you can actually punish it if you block it in the air. That makes sense. Yeah, so once again, another nerf to reversal supers, right? Please check out the change they made to Dolphin. It's hilarious. Okay. Mr. Dolphin, all versions. Decrease damage. Active frames increase when the button is held. What? Vertical. Movement speed now increases when the button is held. You have to charge it? Wait a minute. So does that make it slower? So you have to like hold it to make it go quicker? When the button is held down? Read the top part. Okay. The properties of Mr. Dolphin and Mr. Dolphin are now vary when the button is held down. So did they just give her two different dolphins yet, technically? Although they are straightforward lunge attacks, now in addition to her prior uses, May has more options to change the movement distance or active frames depending on how long the button is held. So that sounds like a buff to me. Number one, granted it's less damage, but you essentially are getting like multiple versions of it now. They do different, they're gonna do completely different things. Yeah, she can essentially do like a short-range dolphin, recover, and throw your ass or some shit. We made adjustments to emphasize the distinctive features of each special. After Geo leaps up during something, her forward movement can now be controlled with forward or back inputs. The reduced startup also increases its utilities as a mix-up tool. Is that the jumping split kick? Yeah, the jump cross-up, the flippy dip, right? So now you can air control it like your Mega Man or some shit? The reduced startup and also increases the utility as a mix-up tool. The decreased recovery of Travavo further strengthens its ability to remain its offensive pressure. I'm assuming that's Cannon Spike, right? Not Cannon Spike, Cannon Drill. Decreased recovery on the Cannon Drill? Now functions as a better anti-air move due to the expanded hitbox. Oh, Spiral Arrow, yeah, sorry, that's a Cannon Drill. So they just buffed a couple of her best abilities? They buffed her fucking dash? She can change her dash? Can be altered? She was already like a grounded monster. But that's also going to open up crazy combo opportunity as well, right? In situations where she wouldn't reach the opponent before after a juggle, she can potentially do it now. If Sol Poniente gets like a counter hit, she can actually like get over there and do even more stuff. And also the fact that she can dash cancel her slash, she can dash cancel her close slash, her standing K. What the fuck, man? Let me go to my boy. Okay, the changes to Gestoba means that even when the opponent is in the corner, Leo can go into Burnhilder stance, the same as mid-screen. So run-through doesn't actually take place in the corner. Run-through doesn't take place in the corner. Are they saying that you're going to get stance in the corner? Or are they saying that you're going to claim the corner? I'm a little confused. He can, but he still goes into back stance. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Maybe you actually run through and take the corner, and then you get back stance, the same as mid-screen. Okay, cool. So if he can corner steal, that's pretty good. Due to the disparity and difficulty of punishing and dealing with his sweep, depending on the opponent's character, its recovery and knockback have been adjusted. Ah, I see. Sweep was really good. Although Leo will be open to counterattack close range sweep during a dash can function as a lunge attack. Fuck, things are about to look way different in this game, dude. Can now withstand the opponent's attacks until directly before the attack is active. Sweep, expanded lower hitbox, increased recovery, decreased knockback, increased movement speed, now is more affected by dash momentum. So he's going to launch his ass across the stage, right? He's going to drop kick you. Now launches the opponent high on counter hit. Oh, fuck. I mean, that happened before, right? Leo got some big ass combos. He could do like down slash into some shit into like run through if he got counter hit sweep. Now you get more jumping changes, which are different, are changing for about the same. Now bounces the opponent higher on the dive kick with decreased horizontal blowback distance. Wow, that's gonna lead to some nutty fucking shit in the corner. That can lead to some nutty shit mid-screen if they decrease the horizontal blowback. This might turn into what was effectively his fireball forward. I think it was heavy slash in the previous game where he would like grab you and drop you down. That special? Maybe, right? He has nutty dust loops in the corner. But this is just making me think like maybe he's gonna have dust loops like mid-screen. Yeah, the air lion. Hopefully, man. I miss that move, right? I really miss that attack. It was fun confirming stuff into it and just getting them back down to the ground and getting into back stance. But you know, Eisensturm, increased attack startup, can no longer be Roman cancel while the opponent's gold psych burst is active. Blocked midair, the opponent now lands more quickly than before. Gestober now now crosses over behind the opponent even when they're in the corner. Wow, so they didn't change anything about run through except the fact that he can corner steal with it. I mean, if there's one thing I thought they would change is fucking nerfing run through again. Maybe they could, and it probably wouldn't be the end of the world. If there's one thing they are obviously hitting is his projectiles, because his light and medium projectile are, his medium and heavy projectile look like they're going to take a bit more to start up. Turbulence. The opponent can now recover after landing. Oh no, this is DP. That's Astenium? Eisensturm? Oh, they nerfed the fuck out of his DP. Oh shit. Okay. All right. I'm assuming that's happening across the board, right? I'm assuming across the board that there is a change to invincible wake-ups. Kai got the same change. Did Sol also get the same change? Sol's DP got nuked. Wow. Most DPs were nerfed. Okay. I mean, it's still going to be good, right? He's got the best DP in the game because it covers cross-up. Kick during Burnhilder stance. Okay, so the little crouching, not crouch, but low kick, right? Increased damage now triggers the slowdown. So what are you going to be able to get after, right? If you get the slowdown counter hit of run through K, what will you be able to get after? Because he could change shit, right? He can go kick slash heavy slash. I'm a little shocked that they would buff back turn anything. Huh, I wonder. Cancel back turn into something? Yeah, good point. Stand K back stance, counter hit, down cancel it, close slash, down heavy slash, go fucking nuts. Get full combo, you know? Did Leo really need this? No. No, but it's following in line with everybody else, right? And Blitzschlag, which one is this? Is this the big shot or the multiple hitting special? I think this is the back turn one, right? Reduces base damage scaling, now depletes less risk level, reduces combo blowback scaling, now causes a less wall break value gain. This is the melee super. Okay, so this is a half circle back forward heavy slash, right? The forward. Is this back turn? Back turns overdrive? Or is this not the overdrive at all? I hate the goddamn names of things in this game. Oh, it's the slow overhead chop. Okay, so it's the back turn fireball back heavy slash, right? Where you get like the big ol' unga, like big ol' kick and swing thing that comes from the back stance. Reduced combo blowback now causes less wall break and reduces base damage scaling. So now it does more damage. It will do eventually more damage, especially if you combo into it. It won't break wall as hard, and it won't bounce out as much. So once again, that's another back turn buff. Yeah, I think it sort of led to a very hard wall break usually. If you did that at the end of something and bounced into it, it would usually break wall. This is nuts, man. This is a lot to take in. When does this come out? June 10th. Okay. Anyway, this is all insane. Like, actually kind of crazy. I mean, we can just look at Happy Chaos to see how bad it gets. The amount of concentration depleted now varies depending on the distance between Happy Chaos and the opponent? What? So like the bullet travel time will take away more? If they're further away, it's more difficult than before to continually use fire from long range? So he's blind? On the other hand, he can now use a powerful string at close range while expending less concentration. Okay, so they're essentially forcing the opponent to have to engage, right? Instead of him being full screen and just shooting your ass. They're essentially forcing Happy Chaos to be a more close range character. And you know what? That's what the character felt like he was going to be when he first came out. It felt like he was going to be like a close range engagement, never know when you can kind of attack kind of character. Instead, he just shot your ass from distance and was able to maintain bullet and concentration stuff at all times. I think if there's two characters I would like to play more in this game, it's definitely Baiken and Leo. It's been a while since I played Leo, so I think it's between those two. I'm really impressed. Like, I genuinely didn't think they would go this far. And you know what? Maybe all of this stuff on paper, this happens a lot in fighting games. Maybe this stuff all on paper sounds right crazy. But maybe you actually get into the game and it's not that much different, you know? Maybe. I hope every character has new routes as a result. Every character has new setups. The things you do with everybody is just sort of different now. And what worked before still kind of works, but there is new stuff that is way better, you know? I genuinely hope that is the case.